After one of the wettest Julys on record, we're now in August. We've had some sunshine and look what's finally here. All my dahlias have finally popped and I can't wait to show you around them today. I mean, just look at them. There's so many, and we've still got some to fully appear. I will be doing a dahlia special video in the coming weeks, and we'll go through each of the varieties and get up close and personal to each of them. But I definitely need to keep on picking my dahlias, because if you want them to keep on flowering, you just got to keep cutting them. So I've got a bucket of water over there. I'll put them straight into water, which is the best way of getting a good stem vase life out of them. But these are the Zunder Mystery Fox. And yeah, I mean, August on the whole, it's been fairly warm. We've had a mixture of sort of wet and dry days, which has been quite nice. I'm just so glad that we're finally getting some sunshine, because it's been so overdue. I just cut some buds there. I wasn't paying attention. Perhaps I shouldn't talk and harvest at the same time. But in today's episode, we'll be having a tour of the allotment. It hasn't changed too much besides the flowers, but I also want to harvest lots of tomatoes, see if I've got any chilies ready as well. And do stay tuned for the squash archway update to see how my Jack Be Little, or Jack Be Massive, which is more appropriate, and see how they're growing as well. Now, there has actually been a bit of a disaster in the polytunnel, as we'll come to find out, but it was to be expected. Red, yeah, really don't care for these red ones. Anybody want some? Have some dahlias. Come on, come get some dahlias. Just behead the lot. But yeah, you just really want to keep up on your deadheading and harvesting. And that's pretty much what I've been doing on the plot for most of this month. Oh, hello bee. Okay, well, let's go up and start the tour. It might not be as long as the last one. Yeah, I've got a very busy end to the month of August, so I'm shooting it a little bit earlier than I normally would. So as we go through the gate, one thing I'm noticing this month is that all of the hawthorn berries are starting to appear in the tree above my gate. They've already got some good colour on them, which is fantastic news for the birds, because they'll be feasting on that all winter. It's a little bit breezy today. I've had to do a lot of taming over the recent weeks with all the brambles, and everything's just gone absolutely wild. It's been difficult to keep up on, but you know, you can't let it get the better of you. Crops that I've been harvesting this month has got to be the blackberries. I've probably got about 2 kilograms in the freezer. As soon as I get them home, I just immediately freeze them, because they're easy to defrost on my yogurt breakfasts, and they just taste so delicious. May have bought some ice cream to enjoy some for pudding as well. Just love them. Let's have a look. So yeah, the peas are starting to go over now, and you can see where I've been harvesting through the hedgerow. There's still so many blackberries to come, and honestly, I'm picking these like every day, and they're just so big and juicy and delicious. Yeah, the veggie bed that's down here is kind of just doing its thing. I've still got to harvest the beetroot that are in there, and what I thought was a courgette is actually probably a squash. Oh yeah, I can just see a baby squash on there, so we'll see if that actually fruits. But where we do have squash is on the squash archways. Let me show you. So this first arch is the Kobe scandens, which is the climbing cup and saucer vine. I can see loads of little flower heads that are coming, and they're still a little way off from maturing and turning that lovely white colour, and giving me a great display. Hopefully it's going to reach all the way to the top. It's getting there. now that we've had some sunshine. And I'm pleased to see that these frames are so far holding out great despite quite a bit of wind. We've also had a lot of wind this month. But poor old Wilcos, eh? If you're from the UK, you probably know that they're probably going to go into administration. I'm not sure where we are on the news with that at the minute. I don't think anyone's going to rescue them, but it's such a fantastic shop for gardeners to get all your supplies. They sell everything you ever need, and they may not be on our high streets anymore, which is really sad, which is where I got these from. So it's going to be such a shame to say goodbye to Wilcos if that's going to be the case. So that one's doing rather well. And the one behind it is where we have what I did plant as miniature squash that definitely aren't miniature squash. In fact, they've gone quite monstrous. Now then, the second frame has the miniature squash, Jack be little. That is not very little. Jack be massive. Look at it, I've got an enormous one here, and there's another one down here, a bit further down, which may have taken a lot of energy. I don't know why, but this one isn't growing that much anymore. And this one's got at least 2 or 3 on here. I don't know if that one's going to mature. It looks a bit soft, like it might rot. I don't know. But I mean, this, look, for head size comparison. It's not little, and I'm a little bit worried about if it's going to bring down my frame, but oh gosh, yeah, that's a little bit wobbly. It's just a lot of weight, so I still haven't done it, but I need to help support it, give it a little cushion. But now this one is actually bigger than the one that was originally down there. Fun and games, hey. And further back, well, that one's just not really doing very much. I think the bindweed has grown further than the squash. But we do also have the auroch. Can you see that? A great purple pink. It's going to have really nice little seed heads for the flower arranging for my wedding flowers, which is very quickly coming around now. The wedding is only a few weeks away. I'm not going to share the date with you guys, but I'm sure you'll know once it's happened. But yes, it's going to be a very busy few weeks as we go into September, let's just say that. So you might not see me around for a little while. I really hope I'll still get out a September tour, because I don't think I've missed a monthly tour since I started this channel in 2018. So I really must stick to that. But yeah, it's just going to be busy. Yeah, so that's how we're doing with the squash. And down here we've got the cheeky curry, the big, well, it's not that big, onion squash, curry squash, and I don't know how many I've got down here because they're all hiding, but I'm going to guess at least 5, hopefully. And they're one of my favourite for eating. And they're probably actually about ready for harvesting as well, because I can see that they are down here and they're already bright orange. So it's great because you get an early crop of squash from those. Well, I've been harvesting lots of awesome fruiting raspberries. They're just a bit difficult to get to at the minute because, no shame, I've got weeds galore. And the apple tree, well, as I said in last month, I think I've had a squirrel or something climbing up and eating some of them. So I won't have as many as previous years, which is surprising because it's always the one thing I can reliably have a massive glut of. And the wildlife corner is, well, wild. Yeah, let's leave that one at that. The shed's also kind of wild as well. It's not very organised anymore, and I'm really looking forward to having a good tidy. Now, down here outside the shed, you may remember when I planted out my asters, I sowed them quite late because I had issues with my first batch because they all shriveled in the early heat that we had in sort of May, June. And so I planted these quite late and I wasn't sure if they were going to flower. But good news, I'm pretty sure they're going to flower because we've got some big fat flower heads here that are probably going to open up in, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks time maybe. I can't remember which varieties I've put in here because it was a case of, just get it in the ground, you know. They're probably going to be peach, I imagine. So we'll have to see, but I'm just so pleased that they've really bounced back. And I think it may have been a different scenario if we didn't have such a wet July, because I think if it was really, really hot and dry, they'd have had trouble establishing and getting their roots down. But because it was so wet, it meant that they could just keep on rooting down, 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 and they didn't have to struggle or get stressed. And so their growth wasn't stunted at all. So they're growing really quickly actually in the last month. And I'm going to get some asters, which is a first. I've never grown asters before. I'm pretty sure I should probably put some mesh, like my netting, up. Probably should have thought about that a little bit earlier, but it's probably not too late. I need to get some on before those big flowers come out. I mean, I don't know how big they are. I know they look big in pictures, but I imagine they're dahlia sort of big. So I need to get them some support so that they don't snap or break in the wind and the rain. Heavy rain will really bring these down. So I need to get these some net very soon. Right at the back we've got more of that auroch. When the seed heads, look at that lovely green little disc. So I've got the green, this one that's more of a almost bright pinky purple colour, and then this kind of dusky greenish pink as well. So I'll be cutting this probably and drying it, because I don't really want the seeds to go everywhere before I've used them for cut foliage. And then through there we've got the amaranthus, although some of them are getting incredibly long. I mean, look at that. It's as long as my arm. And we've got more colours. And then the hot biscuits at the back. You might actually see my gardener's chair next to my pond here, because I've been trying to just chill out a little bit more. And this chair is actually absolutely perfect for just sitting back and enjoying my pond. Oh yeah, now whilst we're down at the pond, I just remembered that I need to give a little special shout out to some of my younger audience members here. I've got 2 children who share the same name as 2 of my fish. Hello to Isla and Seamus. But also I know you've got a sibling, a little girl called Olivia, and I'm sorry I don't have a fish named Olivia, but I will consider it when or if I get any more. But thank you guys for watching my channel and for tuning in, and yeah, my fish are doing really, really well, although Seamus is becoming quite a bossy little boy, and he's chasing some of the other fish around the pond. So just look, chasing them all away. Why did you do that, huh? If anyone could explain this fish behaviour, that would be great. I don't know why they keep chasing each other. So this is my view from my seat, and obviously the cage for my pond is right in front of me, but I'm looking at the dahlias and I'm thinking maybe we should go have a little look at those and whatever else is growing, and harvest some of my tomatoes. So on this left side we've got the red varieties, although this is one that I do actually like because it's much more burgundy. It looks like this one's been nibbled by probably the earwigs that I don't set traps for, but I could with a pot and some straw. Might do that close to the wedding. And I just love that dark pom-pom. And I think when they're really small, they actually make such great sort of pinhole, buttonholes like this one. Just love that dark colour. It's a nice contrast to the orange that we've got over here. So there's a few different tones of orange. This one's the Zundert Mystery Fox. Fantastic pom-pom. Such long, strong stems on these as well. I mean, look at that. Fantastic stem length. And then that dusky colour over there, that is Kernel Bronze. I'm aware that my phone doesn't really capture the colour quite as accurately as it is in person, which is a shame, but I mean, they are just absolutely stunning. And they're really just hitting their stride now. So come sort of mid-September, that's when you get like peak dahlia. Let's go around the other side and check out those white ones next. It's a shame the sun's now decided to go in, but these are, I believe, Petra's wedding. We've also got in here, oh yeah, let's look down there. This is a cafe au lait, but it's the pure white one. I can't remember, I think it's called Brilliant. I'll have to look it up. But it's pure white. There's no peachiness to it like you do on the traditional cafe au lait. Although I think there's also a pink one now as well, the Royal or Royale. But just look at all those oranges. Very autumnal palette we're going for, as you can probably tell. This one's also just perfect for a really small little buttonhole. So sweet. I think this one is Great Hercules. Not yet fully open. Anticipating this one quite eagerly. Oh gosh, my phone is getting too hot and it's overheating, which is not great. But over here we've got the straw flowers, and they've been suffering a little bit with mildew. So I've been spraying them with a solution of milk and water to try and control that, because the proteins, I believe, in the milk help. And it seems to be working so far. They don't seem to be too affected anymore, and I sprayed them about 2 weeks ago, and I just keep harvesting and harvesting all these straw flowers and drying them as I go. Look at that bee. But yes, we've got the whites, the purples, yellows, and a peachy salmon colour, and just a whole rainbow of flowers right now. It's just amazing. I've never grown so many flowers. What I'm really enjoying at the minute is that I'm starting to see more and more of the flowers that are going to appear on my wedding day and in my bouquet, and just seeing how it's all going to sort of piece together is just really quite exciting. So on this side we've got a mixture of zinnias, Rebecchias. There's that gorgeous zinnia. Yeah, the Rebecchia's only just come out in the last week or so. That's the Sahara mix variety. And then the scabious. This is it Black Night, Dark Night? And what I love about these is that when the flowers go over, they turn into these amazing little sea pods, which adds texture and movement, and I just love that sort of thing. Oh yeah, my lime tree that I potted up this year is a little bit tucked away at the moment, but look what I spotted. I've got baby limes on the way, guys. Baby lime, look at this one. I've got quite a few coming, so that's exciting. And this is the Status patch. We've got white and a peachy colour. This white one looks like that one's ready for harvesting and drying. Upside down. I'll have to do a separate drying video soon. Those archways look pretty awesome, don't they? At the top of the plot in these raised beds, well, we've got a few dahlias that have decided to come out. This is your traditional cafe au lait, that coffee cream colour. There's an even bigger one there behind it. I find these always take the longest to come out. But they're finally here. We've got quite a few on the way. Oh look, some self-seeded field scabious. I had this down in the wildlife corner. Looks like it's deciding to spread, which is great news. Butterflies love this. This is another new dahlia that's decided to join us this week. Nice cactus variety with that spiky petal. Adds a bit of drama, which has just reminded me of a dahlia I've not actually shown you yet in the main patch. Let me rewind a minute. Let's go find it. Verone's Obsidian. It's a new one to me this year. Here it is. But I'm so impressed with it. Look at it. And we've got a lovely bee there enjoying that nice open flower. They're a lot bigger than I thought they'd be, but that black burnt sort of burgundy colour is what I look for in a reddish dahlia. Not that horrible colour. No thank you, do not want that. But this, yes. Hello little bee. I don't want to disturb them. But yes, I mean, perhaps you can see from the scale of my hand, they're not small. I thought they would be like, you know, about that big for some reason. But they're great star shapes. And they're going to go wonderfully with all of those orange tones, just to give it a bit of contrast and depth in the arrangements. And just look at the way the petals sort of do that twist. Really, really interesting and unusual dahlia. If you're looking for a new one to grow next year, I would highly recommend it. And the plants look quite happy. Definitely not as tall as some of the others so far, but yeah, fantastic flower. Now I'm actually just going to get some of my harvesting paraphernalia because I want to get some tomatoes. Well, my phone keeps overheating, so I can't see the screen very well, so I don't know what's going on. But the polytunnel, what's going on? Well, blight arrived, didn't it? So the tomatoes have had a very, very severe foliage cut to improve the ventilation as much as possible. I think it's just early blight, so at the moment I can try and prevent it, and well, you can't really prevent it. What I'm trying to do is ripen the fruit as much as I can before blight gets to the actual tomatoes, because at the moment it's just the foliage that's affected. So I've removed a lot of the foliage and the tomatoes are finally starting to ripen. So let's go have a little look at them. It's actually about time that you prune out the growing tip of the tomatoes to stop them from growing anymore, and that'll also help to ripen any fruit that you've got. But look at these trusses. I just think they look amazing and so shiny. Just need them all to ripen now before they turn to mush. But we don't have any signs of blight on the stem yet, which is when I'd really take action. So if I saw black splodges on here, that's when I'd actually harvest all the remaining tomatoes, whether they're green, red, orange or whatever, and just ripen them at home. But at the moment we've got quite a few here, so I'm going to harvest some of those now. But you can see that some of them haven't really produced that many tomatoes, and I think it's because there's a lot of shade on the polytunnel this year, because I haven't been clearing very well outside. But look there, you can see that is blight. That's what you're looking for on your foliage. So that leaf has to go. It's a shame, but I was kind of expecting it because it had been so wet in July. So wet. But I just hope that we get some ripe tomatoes, because as much as I don't mind green tomato chutney, if I can get these to ripen, then that'd be great. So yeah, if they don't ripen in here, then I can take them home, stick them in a sunny window ledge or near a banana, that old trick, and then yeah, we should be good. But for tonight, I think we're going to have a Mediterranean style veg, sort of roasted vegetables, including some lovely tomatoes, peppers, courgette, and look at those. I don't even remember what the name of these was. Oh, this one looks like Tigerella. It's that stripy variety, look. We've also got lots of jalapenos on the way, and I noticed that some of my pepper and chili plants are starting to wilt, which is actually a good thing, because it means that the plant is a bit stressed and it makes the chilies a lot spicier when you don't overwater them. So I'm only watering them sparingly at the minute because I like hot chilies. There's a lovely truss of tomatoes here, look. I think this is just a simple red cherry tomato, the seeds of which I'm pretty sure are from Wilco's. Such a shame. Really love Wilco's. They do have some great seeds as well, including one of my favourite beetroot varieties was Moulin Rouge, which I could reliably get from Wilco's. I think that's a sun gold. Pretty sure these were grown by my colleague Florence. She gave me a little seedling earlier on in the year. Thank you, Florence. Got some great little tomatoes from them already. And in here I've also got my pea plants that I've sown a few weeks ago. I figure, you know, you just got to try these things because I think we're going to have an extended summer into September and October, and I think if I can get another batch of peas, well, that'd be great, wouldn't it? So that's what I'm going to try and do. My little basket of fire, or is it ring of fire, chilies in their terracotta pots are looking so sweet. And what else have we got? The vampire chili. They're actually starting to ripen now to red from purple. But look at those purple flowers. Oh, there is actually a chili plant I don't think I've told you about yet. And that is this one. It's one that I'm actually a little bit scared of. I didn't grow it from seed. I bought it as a young plant from Gardener's World live show that I went to in June. And it's called Armageddon. And as the name suggests, well, it's flipping hot, let's put it that way. Haven't tried any yet, but let me read the label. 1.3 million Scoville units. Handle with care. Bright red fruit with a fruity taste. Fruity taste. I feel like that's a bit deceiving. Yeah, 1.3 million is incredibly hot. I mean, the Scotch bonnets that I grow are, I think, usually about 250 to 300,000 Scoville. So 1.3 million. We're approaching, you know, super hot kind of level there. And we've got flowers. No fruits yet, but super hots always take their time in doing that. So October time is probably when I might actually harvest some super hots. No idea of what I'm going to do with them. Please leave your suggestions in the comments, because I don't know what to do. It was more for a bit of fun. Oh, what have I done? This one I've labelled as Madras. I think the seeds may have been from Recca a long time ago, but I'm not sure. I mean, they look like the Padron chilies, but whether they're spicy or not, I don't know. I would hope so, being called Madras, so we'll have to see. But yes, it's still quite full in here, and I'm not too worried about the tomatoes because the chilies are one of my favourites, and we've still got all them to look forward to. There we are, that will do rather nicely. Well, it's clouded over now, which is nice because it was actually getting rather hot. And I don't like working on the allotment when it's too hot, but I'm glad I've got some tomatoes for my dinner. And I'm going to cut all of these fully open dahlias and take them home because I'm now starting to practice my arranging. I've got buckets everywhere and things to arrange them into ahead of the wedding. So hopefully we're now all on track. And as long as the weather stays, well, consistent and steady, then I'll be happy. Next month is going to be a frantic one of getting the flowers ready for the wedding. So yeah, we're on the countdown now with weeks to go rather than months. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.